Okay, so now we will start polar form of a complex number. How to change a complex number into its polar form of a complex number. So before we study about the polar form of a complex number, we must study about the argand plane, argument, and amplitude of a complex number. Argand plane. In real numbers, we have studied about the Cartesian plane. Cartesian plane means plane containing two axes, x-axis and the y-axis. But in argand plane, it also contains two axes. One is horizontal, other is vertical. In Cartesian plane, the horizontal axis is called x-axis. But in argand plane, though it is also equivalent to x-axis, remember, this is equivalent to x-axis. But this axis is called transverse axis. Is that clear to you? And the vertical axis is called conjugate axis. And these units are for the real parts of a complex number. These are showing the real coefficient of a complex number, and this is showing I into imaginary coefficient of a complex number. Means 1i, 2i, 3i, 4i, 5i, 6i, and 7i. I am writing it alternate so that you can understand it separately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Understood? So these are the transverse axes. This side -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8. Okay. This side -i, -2i, -3i, -4i, -5i, -6i, -7i, and -8. -i, -2i, -3i, -4i, -5i, -6i, -7i, -8i. And their point of intersection, like if we mark this point, so this is red as along transverse axis 1 unit, along conjugate axis I unit, so it is 1 plus I. Understood? Similarly, if we find the point of intersection of this 6 and this 4, so this is 6 plus 4i. Means in this, real part of z is positive. Imaginary part of z is also positive. This is first quadrant. Similarly, if we join these two, what should be the fx of this point? In coordinate geometry, we call it coordinate of the point. And in complex number, we call it fx of point. So this is fx of point P is 6 plus 4i. Fx of point Q, what will be the fx of point Q? X is -2 and y is 4i. So it is -2 plus 4i. Clearly, real part of z will be negative and imaginary part of z will be positive. So this is second quadrant. Is that clear to you? In third, if we mark it as R, so fx of R will be -5 -3i. Clearly, real part of z will be less than 0. Imaginary part of z is also less than 0, and this is third quadrant. And in fourth quadrant, 3 minus 5y means real part of z is positive. Imaginary part of z is negative. So this is fourth quadrant. So this Argand plane is equivalent to Cartesian plane for the coordinate axis in coordinate geometry. In complex number, it is called Argand plane, and in real numbers, it is called a Cartesian plane. So after knowing the meaning of Argand plane, let's not further discuss more about the Argand plane. For example, if this is point P, whose fx is x plus iy, it means that if we draw a perpendicular from P to the, which axis is this?
Transverse axis.
Okay, P to the transverse axis. What will be the fx of foot of this point? Will it not be x only?
Yes, sir.
And now if we draw perpendicular from this point P on the conjugate axis, so its fx will be yi. Clearly this point is x plus iy. Now if we join O and P, can you tell the value of OP? This is Pythagoras. This can be obtained using Pythagoras theorem in triangle PM. Length of OM is x unit. And what is the length of PM? Remember, length is only y. Iy is the fx, which shows the direction of this number also. Understood? Length is y only and fx is iy. Length is x and fx is x, as it is the transverse axis. And conjugate axis means the imaginary axis only. So the distance OP will be under root of x square plus y square using Pythagoras theorem. Now we know that what is the meaning of this under root x square plus y square? If x plus y is the complex number, is it not modulus of z?
Modulus. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the geometrical meaning of modulus, which we were using in directly finding the modulus of z. Modulus of z means OP. Distance of the point from the origin is given by mod z. Okay. Now this angle theta is called the amplitude of the complex number z. If we represent it by z, theta is called amplitude of z. So how to find this theta? When we know only y, which is perpendicular, and x, which is base. The relationship between perpendicular and base is, we know that tan theta. So tan theta equals to perpendicular upon base. That is theta equals to, we can write it as tan inverse of y by x. So amplitude of z is tan inverse y by x. Is that clear to you? This is amplitude of z when the complex number is lying in first quadrant, and it is also called argument of z. Argument of z, which is given by tan inverse of, remember, mod y by mod x. This is only the argument. or the amplitude. When complex number is lying in first quadrant. Okay. Now, have you written this? Now, if the complex number lies in second quadrant, means we know that in this z equals to x plus iy, x will be negative and y will be positive. There will be no change in value of modulus z in that matter also. As this is y and this is x, so it will be under root of x square plus y square only. But this theta as argument is always calculated from positive direction of transverse axis. So it will be pi minus theta. Is that clear to you? So this time argument of z will be obtained by this is pi and theta we already have written as tan inverse of mod y by mod x. So this is argument of z. Or we can also represent it by theta only, assuming that this is theta. Or we will write it only pi minus theta. Actually, it is argument of z or the amplitude of z. So writing this will be sufficient. Or if we name it as alpha only. So alpha is pi minus theta. Or now in third quadrant. Understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now if the number is in third quadrant, so this is theta. And this time we will calculate it from the shortest possible path. This is, we know that minus pi in clockwise direction and theta is moving in this direction. So it is minus pi plus theta. That is minus pi plus tan inverse of mod y upon mod x, which is argument of z if it lies in third quadrant. Is that clear to you? Third quadrant argument is given by minus pi plus tan inverse y by x. And in fourth quadrant, we are following the shortest possible path. So in fourth quadrant, if the number is in fourth quadrant, its argument is minus theta, minus alpha. That is minus tan inverse of mod y by mod x. Okay. So let's now discuss some examples for you to use it. Like minus 1, or first is 1 plus I. Okay, 1 plus I. So we will assume it to be r cos theta plus I sin theta. Remember, where r equals to modulus of z. And theta we already have studied. This real part of z is positive. Imaginary part of z is also positive. So it is lying in the first quadrant. Now, if we compare it with x plus iy clearly, or if we compare it only with r cos theta, then also it will be okay. R cos theta equals to 1. R sin theta is also equal to coefficient of I, which is 1. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. Dividing 2 by 1. We get tan theta equals to 1, that is tan pi by 4. Clearly, theta equals to pi by 4 is positive as it is in first quadrant, and r means mod z, remember. So it is under root of 1 square plus 1 square, that is root 2. Or we can also square and add both. So r square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta equals to 1 square plus 1 square. R square is common into cos square theta plus sin square theta equals to 2, that is r square equals to 2, that is r equals to root 2. So we have assumed that r cos theta plus I sin theta is the polar form. Polar form means r cos theta plus I sin theta. We will further discuss it in next session also. So the value of 1 plus I becomes r means root 2 into cos theta is pi by 4 plus I sin pi by 4. Is that clear to you?